Good evening, Fragcom. Welcome back. This is part 7 of the collection chronicles. My name's Jonathan. A couple more shelves, and I think we'll put this series to bed. Got quite a few fragrances to get through, so should do a little housekeeping, and then we'll dive right in. I started shooting this video yesterday, and I kind of didn't like what I came up with. But I wanted to mention the scent of the day for yesterday, which is worth mentioning. And this is Dunhill Egyptian Smoke. And there's a whole line of these, and this one, I can't speak for the others, but this one is pretty damn good. Tobacco, cacao, rose, and papyrus in the mid. And this thing is a killer. I might have to check out the others from the line. Okay. Oh, coffee cup of the day. Deadpool. No surprise there. Scent of the day. Scent of the day, I went with this. And this is Midnight in Paris. I wanted to revisit this. It's been a while. For some reason, though, I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but for some reason, this hit me a little sweet today. So I wasn't feeling the sweetness. So what I did was I took Casual Friday and layered it on top to kind of temper that sweetness. And I probably should have just went with Casual Friday to get that vibe without the sweetness. Okay, let's and the Scent of the Night, which is sort of in the same ballpark, but it's the only one I have from the house, and I never hear it spoken of. This is Oliver Peoples by Rado. And this is a great fragrance. If you ever get the chance, don't pass it up. This is a really good fragrance. And what's cool about this is Oliver Peoples is a brand that produces sunglasses and eyewear. And they did a collaboration with Byredo to where, and I don't think you can tell, but they're all different colors. This one's the rosewood one. And what they did was, there's like 6 in the line, I believe 5 or 6, and they paired these with the different colored sunglasses, and they put them in a set. And I'd love to have one of those sets, but alas, I do not. Okay, so we're just going to dive right in. This is one of the few that I have from the house, and this is from their high-end line, and let's see if I can pronounce this right. This is L'Heure Fugueuse by Cartier, and this is number 4, and I believe there's 12 or 13 in the line, and it's the hours of the clock. And for some reason, I seem to remember there not being a 9, and I think there's a 13. But whatever the case, this is a phenomenal fragrance. In-house perfumer Mathilde Laurent, I believe, put this line together, and some other stuff from the house. This is a killer. This is magnolia and bergamot, mate, vetiver, and lavender in the base, in the mid, and then in the base there's a leather. It's this is classy. This is a classy fragrance. Really happy to have that one. It's great on a hot summer day. Okay, so we're just going to dive right in. This one I don't have to tell you too much about. This is Koros. Now, this is not the oldest one, but it's not the newest one either. I think I dated this to about the early 2010s. And it still has a punch. It still has the pissiness. It still has, all of those things we've come to love Koros about. Okay, we have an aftershave EDT combo here, and this is from almost the same time period, 1980. This is, Calvin. This is the first release of Calvin, and I did it twice. This is the aftershave and the EDT of Calvin, and this is a killer fragrance. It's chamomile and sweet citruses. It's got a haunting geranium in the mid, some darker notes. This is a heavy fragrance. It's an 80s killer. One of my favorites if I had to choose between that and some others. Okay, we're just gonna keep plugging right along. Here is two different iterations of Czar, the green one being the older one. And I don't have to say much about Czar. The florals are second to none, really. Okay, got a couple of beauties. This is Balenciaga Pour Homme. I have a larger and a smaller bottle. These are both EDTs, and not an easy get. So I snapped up the smaller bottle as well because it didn't look like I was going to get another bigger bottle. Okay, moving right along. This is one of my prized possessions. This is an older Paco Rabanne Pour Homme with the built-in atomizer, clear bottle. Just such a good fragrance. It's really such a good fragrance. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you that was on that shelf. I kind of wanted to show what was on that shelf in a kind of a collector's piece. This is a factice of Alain Delon's Iquitos, and a pretty fair rendering of the fragrance too. And it's glass. A lot of these factices are plastic, but this one is glass. And look at the size of this thing. It's ridiculous for scale. Since it was on that shelf, here is 100 ml of the Alain Delon's Iquitos. So if this is 100 ml, what could this possibly be? I tried to figure it out one time, but it's not written anywhere on this. I've seen 1,000 ml bottles, and this dwarfs them. So that's got to be at least 3,000 mils, if not maybe 4,000 mils. It's craziness. It's absolute craziness. I might as well show you these while I have them out. I have two bottles of, I did it again, two bottles of Iquitos, and they're just beautiful. This is just a beautiful fragrance, one of my all-time favorites. This one is a splash, but it also came with the atomizer that you can put on if you want to atomize it. This one is just an atomizer, and you just can't beat the florals in Iquitos. Okay. Back to Van Cleef & Arpels. This is Van Cleef & Arpels Pour Homme, and I have two bottles, two versions. This one's a little bit older, and man, talk about a banger. The Van Cleef & Arpels is just it's just dark and brooding, and it's leather jacket in the bottle. Okay, this is another Paco Rabanne Pour Homme. It's a little bit newer, but still a vintage with the raised R at PR. Yeah, I've quite a few Paco Rabanne Pour Hommes. I really like that. It's the quintessential gentlemanly fragrance, in my opinion. Okay, this is a tester of, and these are famous for the writing rubbing off. This is a tester of M7 by Yves Saint Laurent. And there's still some of the writing on the back. I hate to rub on these bottles because I don't want to take any more of the writing off. But kind of cool if you can see the Bois de Oud there. Pretty nifty that they were putting that. And I think the Balenciaga Pour Homme also has the Oud written on it and on its testers. Okay, from the House of Lagerfeld, and this is Lagerfeld. This is the Eau de Toilette, not the cologne. However, this one I've compared to the cologne, and I really can't tell the difference. I have to be honest. Some say there's, only get the cologne. Well, I have the EDT, and the quality and the fragrance is very, very similar. Hard to discern, in my opinion. Okay, here's another one from Canisse, and this is Canisse 10. and I love this fragrance. This is a super dry leather. It's leather perfection in the bottle. And this is the older bottle with the writing on the inside. Let's see, what's next? Okay, this is, I think it's from the mid to late 90s. This is Eau Sauvage, and this is in those ribbed bottles. I kind of like these ribbed bottles. There's a few different things that Dior put out in these ribbed bottles that I like. That's a good fragrance. That's a really good fragrance. Here is something that when I had the modern iteration of this, I kind of thought it was good, but I didn't see it. It didn't wow me until I got this older version of Caron Pour Un Homme. And this older version, the lavender is miles better than the newer version. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. You can tell the newer version is a little more on the synthetic side. That one is the lavender is just so lush and natural. It's so good. It's worth going after, in my opinion. Here's another one from Cartier, and I think the second and only two that I have. This is Roadster by Cartier, and this is the perfect summer scent. It really is the perfect summer scent. I could not be happier to have that in my collection. I'd like to go after the Sport. Okay, here is this is a favorite of Rich Mitch's, and I've secured 2 bottles, and it's not easy to get a hold of, but I did it. And the writing's rubbed off of these, and this is Pavarotti Pour Homme by Luciano Pavarotti, and this is a great fragrance, great patchouli. It's classy. It is a super classy. There's a couple of celebrity fragrances out there that are just not to be dismissed. Okay, here's 2 from this house, and the only 2 I have. I'd like to have a few more. There's a couple more on my list that I'd like to have. This is Au Renaissance by Issey Miyake, and these are the 2, in my opinion, 2 of my favorites from the house, 2 of the better ones from the house. The original's good, but I'd like to have the Intense. And there's a couple of other ones out there that I'd like to have. And this is Noir Ombre, or Ombre Noir. Is it Ombre Noir? Or Noir? It's Noir Ombre. I was right. Really good amber. Really good amber. I like what Issey Miyake does. Okay. Here are two bottles of Escada Pour Homme, and you can tell one is older with the E's and the other one with the lowercase. I'm happy to have both of them, and they're very similar. I wouldn't say there's a disparity between them. Okay, this is really good, and this is called Attitude by Armani, and you can't beat a good flip top. There's a flanker, and this shouldn't surprise anyone, but there's a flanker of this one, and it's called Attitude Extreme, and I wouldn't mind having that one, but the prices are silly, and I haven't been able to bring myself to get it yet. Okay, we got a couple from this house, and I really like this house, and this is Costume National's Homme, and this is the Parfum, and excuse the fingerprints. This is a really good fragrance. This is it's just a classy fragrance. You can't say enough about Costume National stuff. This one is, nobody ever talks about this one, and it's a little on the synthetic side if I'm honest, but it's good. It's Secret Woods by Costume National. And that's a really good. It's it's a unique little woods, you know. This is probably my favorite from the house, I would say. This is probably on a lot of people's list. This is Soul, and Soul is a killer. Soul is a heavy-duty, ambery. It's beautiful. Got a little skank to it too. Okay, we're coming up to one of my favorite houses, and I have a number of them. So let me pull them forward. This one, it's a toss-up. This may be one of my favorites. This is Rare Fidelis, and this one is very good. Very good. I'm only sad that I have the 60 ml. I wouldn't mind having a bigger bottle. If I ever run out of that, I will go after another bottle. Okay, this one is Noir Patchouli. And I like these bottles. I always like these bottles. I like this house. I like the theme. I like the years and the literature attached. And Noir Patchouli. Noir Patchouli gives me like vintage vibes. It's a patchouli that you might find in an older 70s or 80s release, like Van Cleef and Arpels or Giacomo di Giacomo. It's got that darkness to it, that vintage patchouli darkness. This one is Amber 114. These are hard to get to show. Sorry. But Amber 114, everybody knows about this. This is one of the better ambers out there. Yeah, I wear that a lot in the winter. Okay, I'd like to have the other ones from this line, but as it stands, this is the one I have, and this is Prolixa. Prolixa is really nice. I like these black bottles; they're kind of cool. Prolixa's, there's, I think, Outrequidant, and there's one other that I can't think of the name of off the top of my head. Prolix is pretty good. Let's see. 1899. A lot of people know this one, and it's a beautiful, gentlemanly fragrance. It even gives you the notes there. That's, like I said, I like everything about this house. The packaging, the literature attached to it, the story, the whole 9 yards. And Gerard Ghislaine, I think his name is, does good things. He does really good things. This one is up there near my favorite, and this is 1740. And I don't know if you can see those notes. 1740 is a killer. It's a little on the challenging side, but it's my kind of challenging. I dig it. Okay, this is the only one I have from. Yeah, it's the only one I have from this house, and it's probably my favorite, I would think. I know a lot of people like Memoirs of a Trespasser and some of the other ones, but I like this one. This is the Cobra and the Canary. Cobra and the Canary is really good. It's a little strange, but again, I do strange. I really like it. Let's see, what's next? I have 2 from this house, and they're really very good, in my opinion. This is from Diaz and Durga, and this is Bowmaker. And Bowmaker has that violin resin, varnish kind of a thing going on in it. And what it reminds me of is the fragrance that Wafts from the Loft put out. Their fragrance does roughly the same thing with that varnish accord and that resins or rosin or whatever it's called. Okay, this is a great vetiver fragrance. This is Cowboy Grass, also by Diaz and Durga, and I like both of these fragrances. For some reason, I mean, you can only get into so many houses. I just never got into more Diaz and Durga, but I hear there's quite a bit. Diaz and Durga and Comme des Garçons, 2 houses that I need to inspect a little bit further. Okay, this is from the house of Etat Libéré d'Orange. Now, I need to get Rianne because I like this. This is Rianne Intense Incense, And this is very good, and it's very smoky and very challenging and very dark, and it's right up my street. But I've sampled the Rian, the regular Rian, and I think I like the regular Rian just a little bit better. This one's harder to pull off. The other one's a little bit more rounded and you know, easier to get next to. Okay, this is from the House of Gucci. Like I mentioned, Gucci is well represented in my collection. For some reason, their fragrances just tick the boxes for me. And this is Gucci Guilty Absolute. And I'm gonna need to procure another bottle and leave it sealed, because I am quite sure that that's one of those fragrances that's going to disappear, and then people are going to be clamoring for it down the road, and it's going to command a pretty penny. Okay, this is an ombre leather-esque kind of a fragrance called Versace Oud Noir. I like this. I'll wear this. I'll wear the hell out of this. You can see the dent. I only got this past year, and I put a solid dent in that. I like it, and I don't think it's on the level of ombre leather. Let's not joke. Let's not kid ourselves. But it is pretty good for Versace. It's really good. And speaking of Tom Ford, this, you can tell by the enormous dent that I put in the bottle, is really a favorite of mine. This is Tom Ford for Men. And I might have to get it. This, I think, discontinued. I might have to get another bottle of this and leave it sealed. It doesn't last very long, and I think that's, that's why you got to rip through the whole bottle. But that scent combo, that DNA is so freaking good. It's really good. Now, I thought this would be a follow-up to that, but it's not. It's its own fragrance, and this is Tom Ford Extreme, and this is a good fragrance. Yeah, it's just good. It's got all of my favorite notes in it. Okay, couple of strange ones to end off this video, from the House of Ted Lapidus, and here's another Oud Noir, but by Ted Lapidus, and this is a very dry kind of. It's a little synthetic, but it's really kind of good. Oud Noir is really kind of good from Ted Lapidus, and yeah, I'm not shy about that one at all. I like it. And this one is kind of strange. This is from the House of Francesco Smalto, and this is called Full Choke. And I put a solid dent in that. This is supposed to have a gunpowder note in it, and albeit a light fragrance, it is a very unique and very cool fragrance. There's a couple of different theories about what this bottle is supposed to be, and it's supposed to be, I don't know, it's supposed to be like a full choke, like from the car where you choke the brake, or a gunpowder pouch, or or whatever other phallic idea you might have about that. Okay, I think that ties it up. I know there's a few flickers in this video. Please forgive me. I'm still trying to solve that problem. I hope it doesn't distract too much from the video. I'm going to go on vacation, so the next two top shelves will be put off until then. I really appreciate all the comments, all the love. If there's anything you can teach me about these fragrances, anything you want to suggest about some other direction to look in, always appreciate the interaction. So y'all have a good night. Stay grateful. Peace.